In Shenzhen, researchers at Southern University of Science and Technology just revealed GrowHR, a soft humanoid that triples its size, crawls, swims, floats, and even walks on water. Meanwhile, LimX Dynamics 18 Oli robots stepped out of crates and marched in formation using their COSA operating system. In Denmark, the humanoid artist Ida designed a pod house for humans and robots. In space, Engine AI's PM-01 is being prepped as the first robot astronaut, and ex-humanoids Tian Kung linked directly to a LEO satellite to complete a real task. Back on Earth, China just opened a massive humanoid joint factory, and companies like Unitree Robotics are shipping thousands of units. This is happening right now, so let's talk about it. Alright, so one of the most unusual developments comes from researchers at the Southern University of Science and Technology in Shenzhen. They unveiled a soft humanoid robot called GrowHR, and it's basically built around a totally different idea of what a humanoid skeleton should be. Most humanoids today still rely on rigid, column-like frames. They're strong in a straightforward way, and they're predictable, which engineers like. Yet the trade-off is that they don't adapt well. Human bodies adapt constantly, and a lot of that comes down to how bones work. Bones are not just hard sticks. They combine different functions at the same time: growth through epiphyseal plates, stiffness through compact bone, impact absorption through cancellous bone, and then these multi-scale internal cavities that keep everything light while still strong. GrowHR is basically an attempt to bring that bone logic into robotics. Instead of building a standard rigid skeleton, the team designed bone-inspired growable linkages. Each linkage mixes soft, expandable chambers with tensioned cables and rigid adapters that keep the structure stable. There's also a non-stretchable textile layer that adds axial stiffness so the linkage doesn't just balloon randomly. Then a synchronous cable system runs through the linkage, helping the extension happen smoothly and uniformly. So the robot can deform on purpose, while still holding shape, like it has internal structure, not like a floppy inflatable. Now, the numbers are honestly the part that makes you take it seriously. The linked structures can extend up to 315%. The robot can extend its height by 278%, meaning it can nearly triple in height. At full stretch, GrowHR reaches about 1.36 meters. Then it can shrink again in ways rigid humanoids simply can't. It can reduce its height by 36% and its width by 61% specifically to navigate narrow and low spaces. That matters because in real environments, especially rescue environments, the bottleneck is rarely raw strength. The bottleneck is getting through debris, through gaps, through doors, under collapsed beams, and doing it without getting stuck. And GrowHR stays light while doing all of this. The whole robot weighs about 9.9 pounds, so 4.5 kilograms. Each linkage is around 350 grams. That lightweight design is a big part of why it can be so mobile. And the way it moves is also not what people expect. It can crawl efficiently, and the team reports crawling at about 112.2 millimeters per minute. That speed is already decent for a soft humanoid, yet the real kicker is how much faster it gets when the growable linkages and the joint motors work together. Coordinated actuation of linkages plus motors enables crawling at a pace 1,122 times faster than either mechanism alone. They also describe it as over 1,000 times faster than motor-only locomotion, which tells you something important. Growth-style structural change is not just a gimmick, it's an amplifier. You pair it with motors, and suddenly the robot moves in a way that neither method can produce alone. Then you get into the multi-mode part, which is where GrowHR starts sounding almost unreal, yet it's described as demonstrated capability. Because the robot is so light, it can float and swim. It can walk on water at around 16 millimeters per second. And with ducted fans or quadrotors, it can fly over distances up to several meters. That last part is important because they're not claiming it has built-in jet propulsion. They're saying the platform is light enough that adding ducted fans or a quadrotor system gives you an aerial mode, meaning the same humanoid body can switch between ground movement, water movement, and short-range flight depending on what you attach. It also demonstrates strength in a way soft robots usually struggle with. GrowHR can deliver powerful kicks, and the researchers talk about energy storage beyond rigid robots. In other words, the system can store energy in its compliant structures and then release it quickly, like a spring, instead of relying purely on motor torque at the instant of impact. Stability and balance get managed through active control and also by adding carbon fiber telescopic linkages, which implies they're mixing materials to get stiffness when they need it. One of the researchers, a PhD student at SUST named Wang Ting, specifically explained that this growable, bio-inspired structure could be applied in field rescue missions, especially navigating narrow gaps, and that multiple locomotion modes let it adapt to complex terrain. The research was published in Science Advances, which is a key detail because it signals the work is being positioned as a serious new structural direction, not a one-off prototype story. Now, while GrowHR is about reshaping a single humanoid body, another big push is happening around scaling humanoids as coordinated teams, because one robot is one thing, but deploying a whole fleet is the real industrial test. That's where LimX Dynamics comes in, also based in Shenzhen. They released a video showing 18 of their Oli humanoid robots autonomously emerging from shipping crates, standing up, walking information, and performing a coordinated routine without human intervention. The company describes it as the world's first practical autonomous deployment of humanoid robots. Whether that specific claim holds long-term is open for debate, yet the demo still signals a major step in coordination. The scenario itself is practical. 18 Oli units are placed inside standard shipping containers. The doors open, and each robot stands, reaches full height, and begins walking on 2 legs. Inside tight spaces, they avoid collisions, exit the containers, and move forward together before completing a synchronized routine. The emphasis is on realistic deployment conditions rather than staged lab spacing. LimX ties this to its operating system called COSA, short for Cognitive OS of Agents. COSA enables shared decision-making, movement planning, and collective control. In simple terms, it lets multiple humanoids behave like a coordinated group rather than independent machines sharing space. The company says COSA mirrors aspects of the human brain by integrating cognition and physical action within one framework. Instead of separating thinking and motion into delayed stages, planning and movement happen almost simultaneously. COSA also includes memory. Robots store information about environments and objects they've seen before and use it to anticipate what might happen next. During tasks like stair climbing, onboard sensors feed real-time data into COSA, which immediately adjusts balance, posture, and gait. LimX describes it as unifying perception, learned skills, memory, and even internal emotional states that influence behavior over time. In practical terms, this is about long-term internal variables shaping how robots respond to complex environments. This demo builds on earlier Oli showcases, where individual robots navigated uneven terrain, climbed rubble, and balanced on one leg using reinforcement learning. The difference now is scale. Coordinated multi-robot behavior instead of single robot stunts. The company's vision is clear: teams of humanoids working together in manufacturing and industrial environments. Beyond movement and labor, humanoids are entering creative fields. In Denmark, at the Utzon Center, a concept building designed by a humanoid robot is on display. The robot, Ida, was completed in 2019 and features a human-like face, camera eyes, and a robotic arm for drawing. Its previous work has appeared at the V&A Museum, the Venice Biennale, and the Great Pyramid of Giza. For the exhibition I'm Not a Robot, Architecture and Design Between Human and Machine, Ida produced what's described as the first building concept designed by a humanoid robot. The design is a retro-futuristic pod house inspired by 1950s and 60s space-age architecture, with rounded forms and large porthole windows. It's intended for human and robot cohabitation and is framed as usable on Earth or even on the Moon or Mars. The project includes pen sketches, painted artworks made with the robot arm, and digital renders of the interior and exterior. The layout shows 2 living rooms, a spiral staircase, a kitchenette or bathroom, and a smaller pod within the main structure for the robot. Aidan Meller, who works with Ida, openly discusses the blurred line between human prompting and AI agency, describing a team of studio technicians supporting the work. He presents Ida as having rising creative agency while still responding to commissions, similar to human artists. Ida itself describes architecture as a natural extension of its purpose, exploring how humans and technology share living spaces. The exhibition runs until October 18th, 2026, with future showings planned in London. Meanwhile, humanoid robots were a major presence at CES, yet AI adoption in architecture remains limited, with only about 8% of US studios using AI tools by early 2025. The most ambitious direction, though, is space. Shenzhen-based Engine AI has launched efforts to send a humanoid robot into orbit, partnering with Beijing Interstellar Human Spaceflight Technology. Their chosen platform is the PM-01 humanoid, which they aim to develop into a robotic astronaut. Space presents extreme conditions: vacuum, microgravity, radiation, and massive temperature swings. Engine AI says PM-01 integrates high-precision environmental sensing, millisecond-level motion response, and autonomous decision-making to handle these demands. The idea is for humanoid robots to perform risky tasks like station repairs, hazardous exploration, and long-term monitoring, reducing risk to human crews. PM-01 also has a commercial version on Earth. A model called PM-01 JD Joy Inside launched for about $27,000, offering natural conversations, coordinated behavior, persona customization, and personalized voices. The robot stands 1.38 meters tall, weighs 40 kilograms, and uses an aluminum alloy exoskeleton. Its waist rotates up to 320 degrees. It relies on an Intel RealSense depth camera for perception and runs on NVIDIA Jetson Orin plus an Intel N97 CPU for real-time control. Engine AI compares PM-01 to its larger SE-01 humanoid, noting PM-01 is 27 centimeters shorter and 8 kilograms lighter. Meanwhile, Interstellar, the space partner, has its own roadmap, aiming for suborbital flights around 2028, at 100 kilometers altitude and orbital tourism missions around 2032, reaching 400 kilometers. Another space-linked development focuses on communications. X-Humanoid's embodied Tiankung robot reportedly became the first humanoid to connect directly to a low Earth orbit satellite without ground network support. At a Beijing event, it linked with a Galaxy Space phased array satellite and transmitted live visual and movement data. During the demo, the robot retrieved a certificate from a driverless vehicle and delivered it to a building, while its actions were streamed via satellite to a control center almost instantly. Phones and computers were also connected to the same satellite link. This proves humanoids can operate in remote areas, disaster zones, and low-signal environments where traditional networks fail. Back on Earth, manufacturing capacity is scaling fast. EU Robot Technology opened what it calls the world's first factory dedicated to humanoid robot joints in Shanghai. The facility can produce 100,000 joints per year with plans to triple output. These joints make up about 50% of a humanoid's cost, making them strategically critical. Shipment data shows rapid market growth. Unitree Robotics reported shipping 5,500 pure humanoid robots in 2025, with 6,500 units produced. IDC estimates global humanoid shipments hit 18,000 units in 2025, with $440 million in sales and 508% year-over-year growth. Chinese companies dominate more than 80% of installations. Even Elon Musk now describes China as Tesla's biggest humanoid competitor, highlighting China's strength in scaling, manufacturing, and AI. Analysts point to China's complete supply chain and cost advantages, pushing humanoid prices into the tens of thousands of dollars. Broader industry data shows China had 451,700 intelligent robotics enterprises by the end of 2024, with total registered capital of 6.44 trillion yuan. Now, the question is, which country do you think will dominate the humanoid robot industry 5 years from now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.